I'm Rachel and welcome to my cake school. How I got my 5-star food, health and hygiene rating. Do you have a health inspection? Well, don't panic. I'm just going to run through a few things in this short video to help you get your 5-star rating for your food business. In the UK, it's law to register your business with your local council if you're going to be selling and producing food, even if it's from your home kitchen. So you must do that. And then you'll probably find that one of the food inspectors will call you up and arrange to come and make an appointment to check your premises. So please don't let this panic you. I know it throws a lot of you into an array of panic as to what you've got to do and have you done everything right. So I'm just going to run through a few things to bear in mind if you've got the health inspector coming round. So a 5-star rating is going to look really good for your customers and for your quality of business. They're not going to close your business down because there are toys on the floor or the dog happens to walk through. They're there to help you and will also point out things you can improve on if there's a little problem. So here's some pointers. So when my health inspector first called me up, he arranged an appointment, which was fantastic. Don't panic. They're not going to come and knock on the door and say, right, we're coming in now to check everything. You might be in the middle of a family dinner. So they did arrange a proper appointment. I was then sent a form that I needed to fill out. So I've got this here. You'll probably get this. So I just went through a number of different questions and answers, and that's just going to help you get in your mind all the things that you need to be thinking of. So that was the first thing that I did. Secondly, there's a number of other things that you're really going to need to have if you're going to get this 5-star rating. So I'm just going to run through those one by one. The most important one is your level 2 food hygiene safety certificate. So I've got mine here. And again, please don't panic. It's really, really easy to do. There's a lot of online training courses that you can do. So you just go online, often costs £20 or £30. You can go online and do that course. And it takes around 2 hours. And it's a series of questions and answers that you'll do. And they give you a chance, even if you get it wrong, you can then reread and you might answer that question right. And at the end of it, you get a certificate. I'm going to put a link right at the bottom of somewhere that you can go and get that certificate. So you've got that one covered. Your inspector is going to want to see that. So do make sure you've got it. A lot of the really helpful information also comes from the Food Standards Agency. And this is something I didn't have in the beginning, but there's been various laws passed when people have had allergies from eating food that's not been properly labelled. So this certificate here is run by the Food Standards Agency. It's the Food Allergy and Intolerance Training. And again, that's very similar to the level 2 food hygiene. It's a course that you do, and it just gets you in your mind very clear on all the good, safe practices that you need to do to make sure that your customers are fully aware of what is contained within the product that you're selling. So that's, again, another certificate that you might want to have on display for your customers. And thirdly, you must have public liability insurance. So there's many, many companies that will do that for you. And that just covers you if things go wrong, if there's an incident, maybe when you're traveling to the venue with your cake, or maybe if there's an incident while you're there. Lots of venues will also want to make sure that you have your public liability insurance. And they'll often ask to see a certificate. I supply to many hotels and venues, and they'll often ask the supplier to provide that certificate. So I've got indemnity up to £1 million there. So it's really, really important that you have that one. So that's those three. And yeah, I just have a piece of paper here. This is called the Wedding Insurance Group. They will do your public liability insurance for you. So there's lots of companies that will cover that. Okay, and then the Food Standards Agency also have the most fantastic pack that covers everything that you need to know. Some things that you don't need to know if you're not handling meat or you're working in a commercial kitchen. But basically this pack will cover everything that you need to know if you're preparing food in your kitchen. Everything from safe cleaning, safe storage, all the different forms that you need to fill out just to make sure that everything is clean and safe and produced in a good, clean environment. So that's one, you get that for free and you just need to contact the Food Standards Agency. It also contains some really good sheets and forms that will help you when you're doing cleaning schedules, or how to take your fridge temperatures and how to store your food. So yeah, it's really, really good that you have one of those that you can keep to hand at all times. It does look like an awfully big pack to read through. I'll just give you a quick flick through here. But it's good to read through this pack and just to be more knowledgeable in general. Mine came with a little DVD. You can see there some of the forms that it'll give you that you can fill out. Many of you won't have staff, so you might not need to worry about some of the sections in this book. But yeah, I found it really, really useful, and I've pulled out a few of the different sheets. I've actually started filling out this one here on personal hygiene. So again, it's really good to be mindful, especially if you work on your own, about things like cleaning, washing your hands, your own personal health and hygiene, things that you should keep in place around your kitchen just to make sure that you keep everything as spick and span as you can. So yeah, do get a copy of the Safer Food, Better Business pack. I'll pop that down over here. And then your inspector is likely to ask for some paperwork that you do in your kitchen to make sure everything's lovely, clean and safe. So I'm just going to run through a few of the little bits of paperwork that I've got here, and you can jot them down and make some notes if you need to. So I have a cleaning schedule that I use. You can get downloadable copies of this, and also from the Safer Food, Better Business pack, there's also, I've pulled this one out here, a little sheet just to help you with your cleaning schedule. And your cleaning schedule is basically how you clean your kitchen down, or how you prepare it before you start, and how you finish up when you've finished at the end of the day. Because you might be going on to make your kids some dinner, and the dog will be trotting through, and you just need to make sure that before you start and when you finish that everything's in place. So a cleaning schedule really just runs through the things that you clean and when you clean them. So for example, you don't have to write down that you scrub your oven from top to bottom every day, but just to make sure that you're covering that cleaning maybe once a week or once a month and putting all those practices in place. I also use my cleaning schedule to note down my fridge and freezer temperatures. And that's another really, really important thing that you need to have, is a thermometer for your fridge and your freezer, so that you can check those temperatures daily and just do a little log just to make sure that the electricity might have gone off overnight and the fridge temperature might have dropped. And if you store cream or other products that are a bit perishable, it's really important to know that you've made note of that and that you're aware if something might start to degrade in its quality. And the last few bits and bobs that I have here, when I put a cake out, when I give a cake to a customer or I give a cake to a venue, really, really important to show that you're fully aware of allergens and things that might be contained within your product, or any kind of cross-contamination. So I have a little form. Again, this is one from the Food Standards Agency that I've downloaded. And I just tick the boxes, the relevant boxes here, and it contains all the different allergens along the top. So if your product, if your cake might contain gluten or egg, or maybe it's dairy-free this time around, you can tick all these boxes and fill in who the client is and who the venue is, just to make sure that any caterers are aware of what your product contains. So that's the allergens form. For extra safety, I also downloaded some stickers off Etsy. So I'll just show you these here. This is really nice. It has my logo on it. And again, it has all the allergens listed. So you can tick the boxes there as to what your product contains and then stick them on. So maybe you have a box of cupcakes, or maybe you have a big cake being picked up and it's in a big box. Just pop one of those on the top and make sure you've ticked the relevant boxes. I also, and this looked really good for my health inspector, happened to print off some of the paperwork that I give out to my clients when they order a cake. So when they order a big wedding cake from me, I've drawn up the whole order, and then in a little box highlighted in bold type, it says, please be aware that your product may contain nuts or gluten or inedible products or whatever, like cocktail sticks. Whatever the product contains, and just to make sure people are aware of that. And it also refers them to my terms and conditions. So then on my terms and conditions on my website, it also states all of this so that everybody is very clear on what they're getting. So these things are really important. It's very good to show your inspector how you cover all of those things. This is just nice. This just goes on any of my products. This is just a sticker. And again, it refers people to the website. So if you do have or should have terms and conditions on your website, all of those things should be covered there, and always refer your clients to the terms and conditions. So just a few other little things that you should do to try and get that 5-star rating. So I mentioned before, make sure that you've got that thermometer in your fridge or freezer so that your temperatures can be monitored. And make sure that you show how you store your ingredients correctly. So wherever that might be, in the cupboard, a walk-in cupboard, maybe you're lucky enough to have a larder. Make sure that the way you store those ingredients is done properly, that it's not all on the floor with the tops open. Make sure that the tops are sealed or covered, that everything's dated and you're very well aware of when those best before dates start and finish. So be really clear on all of that. And also show that you store your cleaning products correctly, that all of your detergents and disinfectants aren't next to all of your ingredients in the cupboard. Make sure that they're kept in a separate place and that you know what you're using and how to use it, and that you keep good rotation of all of your cleaning cloths. Try to keep a paper towel next to your sink so that when you've washed your hands, you've got a separate towel to dry your hands on, and that can be nicely disposed of in the bin, and that you're not using the same tea towels over and over every day without keeping a good cleaning rotation of all those cloths. And lastly, I helped explain to my inspector how I gave a customer my product. What did I do? Was it just on a tray? Was it in a box? That I labelled it and that I put all of my stickers on, the ones that I mentioned previously. What happens then? Do they go in the car? Is it refrigerated? Is it covered? So yeah, just explain how you go about doing things and that you've got a really nice, safe practice with all of that. And please don't worry, for example, if you don't have a separate hand washing sink, or if you've got 2 cats or a dog, or you've got children. These things, they're not going to close your business down. What you need to do is explain to the health inspector how you do things and how you do them safely and to the best of your ability. And those are the most important things that you need to remember when you get your food health inspection. And hopefully all of the tips that I've shared with you today will help go towards getting that brilliant 5-star rating.